This is Mario Kart World, the first game in the series for 11 years. This is the game to grab with your console, and is a very smart launch title, especially considering Mario Kart 8 was the best-selling game on the Switch 1. The game is chaotic as all hell, and runs buttery smooth despite it. And the game's art style is absolutely gorgeous. But we like our recaps over here, so let's have a cheeky look at all the single-player, non-free roam content in Mario Kart World. But let's start out with the obvious Mushroom Cup. The Mushroom Cup opens with 3 laps on Mario Brothers Circuit, a fantastic introduction track. It has all the grind rails you need to get used to the new mechanic, and a little bit of wall riding that is possible. Overall, a very nice tutorial track, and I'm pretty sure I lost straight away because god damn the items can fuck you. Next up, we move on to the intermission segments, a section that is rather mixed on the feedback of this game. Instead of going 3 laps on the next track, you now have to drive to it in the interconnected world, going through motorways, country roads, deserts, and whatever terrain you must to make it to the next track. Once you finally get to the next track, 2 of your 3 laps have been spent, and you only get 1 lap on the actual layout of the track. Which is not necessarily bad, but it does mean it is harder to learn the tracks during Grand Prix. But the next one is Crown City, a bumbling and bustling city full of toads, full of buildings, full of Yoshis, and full of floating platforms. You go through a big tunnel and you start diving through the sky, where you hit a ramp and finish off the track. Next up, we have to drive our way yet again from the city to the mountains for Whistle Stop Summit, a very cool track themed around trains, which is evident while you're driving there due to the railway that you have to go across, before ending on the 5-lap DK Spaceport, one of my favourite tracks personally. It is short and sweet and has some great music as an homage to Donkey Kong and his history, all while a giant robotic Donkey Kong is throwing those barrels at you while you play, before finally sweeping between his legs to the victory. Next up is the Flower Cup, which, to be honest, I'm not too keen on. You start out with 3 laps on Desert Hills, which is honestly quite a bare bones track. It's not offensive, obviously, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just a simple desert track, but that's the problem, it's just a simple desert track. There's no oasis or anything special here, it's just desert. Or making your way over Shy Guy Bazaar, which is a good track, and while being nice, I feel has had a bit of charm from it due to the open world aspect, as the open world aspect means that you need a day and night cycle, and the majority of the tracks in the game are played during daytime, at least in the Grand Prix, which Shy Guy Bazaar kind of shined originally due to the fact that it took place at night, and I feel this is kind of taking a bit of its personality. Then you go to Wario Stadium, which some people like, some people don't like. I'm one of the latter. I have never really been too keen on the stadium tracks, whether it's Waluigi Stadium or Wario Stadium, so to be honest, this doesn't do much for me. There's a lot of jumps, and that's about it. I just don't think I'm that big on N64 tracks. But the final track does step it up with Airship Fortress, which is finally returning for the first time on home console, and is amazing. But Airship Fortress is a fantastic way to close this off, and almost redeems the rest of the cup. Next up, the Star Cup, which I like quite a bit actually. You start out at DK Pass, which is a little bit underwhelming. I do prefer DK Snowboard Cross a lot more, but it is a simple snowboarding track, a simple ice track, and there's not too much wrong with it. Before travelling your way to Starview Peak, which is absolutely gorgeous, the music slaps, which is what you're hearing right now, the water segment is stunning, and it is upsetting to only get 1 lap on it. Followed by Sky High Sunday, the only track from Mario Kart 8 that returns. It's another harmless one, and a lot of people are really happy with this iteration, but I've just never been a big Sky High Sunday fan. I feel like the open world meant that a lot of the creative decisions they could do with these maps got kind of ripped out because they had to be interconnected and make sense in a world, which is why I kind of resent Sky High Sunday, because why did you have to take out a bunch of unique ideas because of the open world, but the road can just become ice cream? After Sky High though, you make your way to Wario's Galleon, which is kind of a weird version of Wario's Shipyard, but there's no underwater, so it's kind of a different track. Because they took underwater out of this game, instead you bounce on top of the water and there's a bunch of tricks you can do. The water racing is a bit meh to me, but I've grown accustomed to it while playing the game, and Wario's Galleon has actually become one of my favourites because it is very enjoyable. Overall, I have very little complaints about this cup, aside from my hatred for Sky High Sundae, but I'll put that aside for the rest of them. Shell Cup is up next with another half and half kind of deal. First half is relatively good. Koopa Troopa Beach is a nice simple remake of an SNES track and is practically a circle for 5 laps, which isn't actually that bad because it's kind of this game's Baby Park, and some people quite like Baby Park. This track is pretty inoffensive. There's a few jumps you can do, but mainly you're just going to be drifting the whole time. Then you drive away to a savannah for Faraway Oasis, a really unique kind of area for the Mario Kart series. It is really cool, and I do enjoy it. I like the implementation of the water segments. I think they make a lot of sense here. Overall, quite a decent track. But one of my problems in the game kind of appears here, at least in the Grand Prix. Crown City again. It is a different layout, but to me, it's a little weird to be going back to another track. And it isn't the only track that does this. Peach Stadium, which is up next, does it as well. These actually appear twice, so as opposed to the base 32 tracks that you expect from Mario Kart, you kind of get 30. They're all high quality, but it's a loss, especially considering the crazy amount Mario Kart 8 had. Not to mention that the Peach Stadium here is a rectangle. Here is the Banana Cup, starting with Peach Beach. Peach Beach has had a facelift and now is a 3-section track instead of a 3-lap track, where you go through the whole village and around the coast before beating it. Next up though, you have to drive to Salty Speedway, which is a track I do not like. I have nothing explicitly against the track, I'm just not keen on the water driving for the most part, and despite Wario's Galleon, this one doesn't do a lot for me to save it. It's kinda slow, it's kinda slippery, I'm not too keen on Salty Speedway. But then we move on to Dino Dino Jungle, which is a good track, I like it. I like the change of it. Instead of just being a jungle, it's now quite similar to Jurassic Park. It's a big facility full of dinosaurs. And I think this is a unique change to the track, and I honestly think it stands up quite well. And Great Question Block Ruins is everyone's favourite. I love this track, I especially love it in time trials. This and Airship Fortress are my 2 best tracks when it comes to the game. Not my favourite track, but the tracks I know the shortcuts for. Even when I was first playing through it, I can assure you I was enjoying Question Block Ruins. Next up is the Leaf Cup, and oh, this one's good. First you start out at Cheap Cheap Falls, which is a brilliant Japanese-inspired track full of beautiful orange and a lovely Bowser's Kingdom-inspired soundtrack. And after that magnificent introduction, we go to Dandelion Depths, which is another stunning track where you go round a construction site down into a big cave full of dandelions. The music is what I put in the background right now, and it is good. Next up is maybe the most creative track in the entire game, Boo Cinema, where you drive through a haunted cinema and go through the screen into an old-timey atmosphere with video reels of Peach's face to drive on. This track is even more stunning than the last 2. And finally, you end up with Dry Bones Burnout, which is a Mexican-inspired track, I'm pretty sure, with more amazingly creative design for a lava track, a massive Dry Bones head, and platforms to drift around everywhere. Leaf Cup is definitely one of, if not the best Grand Prix in this game. Next up, Lightning Cup. This one's weird. It starts out with Moo Moo Meadows, which, I mean, we've been playing this for quite a while, haven't we? Moo Moo Meadows was in Mario Kart 8 for 11 years, so with very little added to it, why is it here instead of Moo Moo Farm? This game has clearly taken a lot from Mario Kart 64, which is why it's weird they chose Meadows instead of Farm, but whatever. Then it's followed by Choco Mountain, which I just don't like. I never liked Choco Mountain, even in the original version and the one in Mario Kart 8, so turning it into a factory does not appeal to me at all because I do not care. Then it goes to Toad's Factory, which I like, it's returned, it's kind of the same as it always was. I'm not complaining because it's always been a good track and I'm glad to see it back. But Bowser's Castle fixes this cup. This Bowser's Castle is super fast, super chaotic. You dive through a giant lava Bowser head, which is insane, and it is the perfect way to finish off the final cup. I lied, there's another one. After you beat this cup, all of the trophies that you've gathered gather in the woods. to form the Special Cup and shoot Rainbow Road into the sky. So let's talk Special Cup. It starts out in Acorn Heights, which is an interesting track, which has you really small in a place of really big vegetation. There's massive leaves, massive mushrooms, and it's a really solid track in general. I don't know why this is the one they picked to hide away. Then you drive down to Mario Circuit, which is a combination of all 3 Mario circuits from the SNES. It's a really short track, but it's a really sweet track. It's a nice homage to the original game, and having all 3 layouts in one was a really cool design choice. Third, we move down to Peach Stadium again, but this time it has an actual layout. Instead of just being a rectangle, there's actually places to drive. You drive up, and it's pretty close to anti-gravity. It's not upside down and crazy like in Mario Kart 8, but it's still pretty intense. Before going in a straight line up to the sky to Rainbow Road. There is nothing I can say, this Rainbow Road is perfect. You start out on a Rainbow Road, and after doing some drifts on the Rainbow Road, you fly into a sparkly crystal water section, which is just as gorgeous as the water section in Starview Peak, before hopping back onto a Rainbow Road and getting shot into a space station. The space station is a really unique atmosphere, and after going through it for long enough, you end up in an SNES Rainbow Road style area, with rainbow thwomps and square tiles, all the good shit, before getting fired towards the planet with the camera showing the curve of the Mario Kart world, as you fly down and go on a few more twisting and winding rainbow paths to end the game's Grand Prix. So good. So good. Just so good. This next portion of the video is going to be a little weird, because I don't think I can go in depth as much as I did with the cups. The cups are really easy to discuss, because this is the first time that we've gone through these cups, but the knockout tours are a little weird. So knockout tour is structured where you go through a massive chunk of just the intermission highway segments, but with multiple checkpoints in between, and every time you reach those checkpoints, the bottom 4 players get eliminated and disqualified. But because we've gone through all of these tracks, I don't know what I can really say about the highway areas that's interesting enough to warrant talking about each rally individually. There are 8 rallies just like the 8 cups, and they go through different sections of the map. And there's really not a lot to really comment on. It's just long highway segments, and this is definitely the best portion of the game. It is the most unique, and it is a lot more chaotic and a lot more fun than Grand Prix is, but there's just not a lot to note about it. It's fun, it's great, but there's not much to recap on. The best way to describe this would be to show you some clips of me playing Knockout Tour, which I'll chuck a few in after this voiceover. But this is the kind of thing that we mainly go through on stream, and if you want to watch all the streams, there will be a link down below to a channel with playlists of all the streams, and there will be a link to the Mario Kart World stream playlist here as well, so you can go through and see all of my content on the game. Why does everyone and their nan have a bullet? Why are they programmed to store bullets? I missed the item box. No, I'm dead. I'm actually dead. This is the run. This is Jova now. It's Jova. Feather's what we want. I can dodge something with a feather just about, though. I think, maybe. Get in! First in every checkpoint, get in. Just play as the bat. Yeah, let's play in the bat and the locomotive. That happens every time. You gotta keep such like a good lead when you're playing a lightweight character, because you got no speed. You're literally relying on boosts, which sucks when you're literally about to lose now. Him get everything stolen again. Stop taking my shit, guys. I need some too. Look, it's going to be 3 mushrooms and a big one. Do it. to be picking this combo, but always getting battered. There's someone against me. Fuck out my way. Locking in, maybe? She's gonna get it. Fuck! I promise I got good, and I did eventually 3-star all of them. The next part to mention is the time trials, where, as usual, you go through 3 laps of the tracks as quickly as possible. A lot of shortcuts have been discovered this way, and it's obviously as fun as ever to try and race these Nintendo employees and beat them at their own game. But similar to the Knockout Tour, there's not a lot of new shit that I haven't already talked about. I've discussed each of these tracks during the Grand Prix. This is a more gameplay focused game, so my recap ability is a little bit limited here. So just like the Knockout Tours, I'm going to show you a few clips of my time trial experience, but I can't really discuss the entire thing because there's not a lot to discuss. But as always, the stream playlist is linked, as I said just before. Hey, that far ahead now. And I'm really curious as to where he's done that so that I can do it. Thank fuck. I'm not even going to try that for the rest of the attempt, because he only does it once. No way I've just successed. You fucker, you fucker, you fucker! How fucking dare you! Whoa. Why is she going so far? Stop! Where have you used your mushroom? Rainbow Road again is such a long track. If we like get fucked over right at the end, it's going to be awful. Again, but big water section, so be careful. I played this track once and won. I took the left path the first time. I'm going to take the right path this time to switch it up and hope it don't fuck me over. Right, I'm calling right. Right must be right, come on. I don't remember if there was 2 paths here or not, and that scares me. I don't think there was. Come on, let's get it. Let's get it, come on. Come on, first try Rainbow Road, come on. Get in! Okay, let's give a little bit of discussion to free roam. I am not really keen on it. If I'm just picking up the console and having a bit of fun, sure, I can enter free roam and dick about for a bit, no problem. But I don't really feel any incentive to go into free roam. There's missions, there's collectibles, but there's no story or any reason to grab them that ties it all together. It's just collectibles for the sake of collectibles. And the only reason you'd collect them is for mirror mode, which I got. I only played a little bit of free roam on stream and ended up getting the rest of what that I needed for mirror mode on my own. Mirror mode is decisive because a lot of people didn't think mirror was in this game, but it definitely is. But that meant I had to do all the knockout tours and all of the Grand Prix all over again. And after doing all the knockout tours, I realised there was something missing. Someone missing. Someone I wanted since I saw them in the trailers. So I sat and I grinded Kamek Orb until I got Fishbone. And I used Fishbone for the last remaining Grand Prix, damn it. And god damn is he beautiful. Look at him go. Thank you so much for watching this video on the new Mario Kart world. Well, not really new. It's been about 25 days. I'm really slow. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. I'll see you around.